Hello, everyone. Ex-Wallkill Bethelite here. And we have a very important question to answer. After you wake up from Watchtower, what next? This is a question that's been going around since I first read Crisis of Conscience. I read Crisis of Conscience from Ray Franz. By the time I finished with that book and doing my research, I knew for sure Watchtower was not God's only organization. But the question then is, now what? Now what do I do? That's the same question for a lot of people, especially people who are just waking up, even if you've been awake for a number of years. It's still a question. Now what? Well, I'll tell you from my experience, the next step after waking up, the immediate next step after waking up from the Jehovah's Witnesses, or even trying to leave the Jehovah's Witnesses if you never believed it when you were younger, the next step is stability. The next step after leaving Jehovah's Witnesses is not to go and try to find the true church. It's not to go and try to research every church in the world to try to figure out the right one. It's not to go and research atheism. It's not to go online and try to debate different ideas with people online you don't even know. The next step is stability. Do you have a place to live? Do you have a reliable job? These your immediate needs are something that you need to attend to, because in leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses, oftentimes you're leaving your entire support structure. So now that that support structure is gone, we need to build another one. And one of the best ways of doing that, in my opinion, again, this is me talking from experience, right? I've been doing videos for 6 years or so. I've seen a lot. I've talked to a lot of people. Through my experience, the best way to build quickly a support structure isn't necessarily just the XJW community in general. Sometimes you're just talking about people you don't know at all from Adam. You don't know them at all. Before you get to that point, the support structure I would build is with current family who are not in the cult. It's better to trust a relative versus trust a stranger. It is far better to trust a relative who you're not worried is going to try to take advantage of you sexually, that's going to try to take advantage of you financially, that are out looking for money, right? That are out contacting you to try to see if they can get sex because they know you just woke up from a cult and you don't really have the same critical thinking developed yet. The first thing a person wants to do is first get security, get themselves in a place of stability, mental stability, financial stability, a place to live. People don't always realize how close they can be to being homeless because of the Jehovah's Witness cult. Because of this cult that's just trying to get rid of family members who don't want to remain members of the cult. They don't care where these people go. They just want to get rid of them so that the men of the household look good. The men of the household want titles. They just want to get rid of you. So that puts you in a situation where the first thing you do, you don't want that to be just going online and talking to other former Jehovah's Witnesses, although you can spend some time doing it. I'm not saying don't do it at all. I'm saying that's not what you want to spend the majority of your time doing. You want to spend your time making sure you have somebody to fall back on. Do you have a cousin who is not a Jehovah's Witness? Do you have an uncle, an aunt, someone that you know cares about you? The people we meet online, they may or may not have even been Jehovah's Witnesses in the past. We don't know that they care about us or not. We don't know what their motives are, right? But it's a lot easier to tell the motives of someone you may have known your whole life, even if you don't know them extremely well, because most Jehovah's Witness families, they don't really do the holidays, right? They're not out participating with the rest of the family with regards to holiday festivities. So sometimes the Jehovah's Witness family tends to isolate itself from everyone else. So you don't really know your cousin that well. You don't know your uncle, your aunt that well. It could be a brother or sister that left the household that's no longer a Jehovah's Witness that you just never really talked to that much. Those are the people. Contact your brother. Contact your sister. Let them know what you're going through. It's far less likely. This is a major problem for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because just because Watchtower took advantage of us and we left Watchtower, that don't mean there isn't a lined out all the way out into the street of people and organizations who would also love their turn at taking advantage of us. And oftentimes, right after leaving a cult, we haven't completely developed the critical thinking skills to fully know when someone's lying to us or not. We could fall for the very next religious quack, talking about they can heal the sick. They show people on television throwing their crutches and walking that couldn't walk before. You don't know that they couldn't walk before, but it's so easy to fall for all of those things when we grow up believing that there is a true religion and we just need to find it, right? That does not need to be our focus. Even if you're a religious person still, it shouldn't be a hard concept to understand that even God would want you to be stable. What job do you have? Really important. Where are you living? Are you in a living space that's going to be there? Where you're not just, you didn't just go off with some friends who, when their lease is up, who knows where all they're going to go, and then you don't even have a plan for where you're going to go because you're online following YouTubers who are former Jehovah's Witnesses. All that's your choice to do after you are in a place of stability, after you have found you a good job, after you have a place to live that's stable and you know it's going to be there. Then by all means hop online and debate people to your heart's content about religion, about atheism. Get on YouTube, find a YouTuber and that's asking for money and give them your money because you got plenty of it, right? That's your choice, right? But if you're in a place of vulnerability, the first thing you need to do is take care of that vulnerability. The first thing you need to do is realize you might be in a place where you could be taken advantage of. Most people aren't going to think that. Most people think, okay, I can figure this out. I've got it under control. When I first left, I didn't have it under control. When I first left, right? When I first left, just about anybody that suggested something to me, there was a very high likelihood that I would fall for it. Because I just believed people. I just left an environment where I was taught everybody in the hall is a good person. So when I left Watchtower, some of that still stuck, where everybody's a good person. Salespeople would call me. I'd end up with all kind of product I didn't even want. But I'm listening to all these people. Salespeople come knock on the door where everybody else would have shut the door a long time ago. I'm standing out there talking to them. I'm entertaining these ideas and sales and products that I have no need for. Right? When these TV evangelists get on the television asking for money, and if I give them money, I'm going to get the breakthrough. This is the stuff I was seeing on TV after I left, not just Watchtower, but keep in mind, I left Bethel, right? So all this stuff is new to me that I'm seeing online and on television. For some Jehovah's Witnesses, they were aware of all that stuff. They've been watching TV. I was at Bethel. I was working all the time. So when I come back from Bethel and I'm seeing for the first time and I'm realizing Watchtower don't have the truth, and I'm seeing these TV evangelists talk about if you just, call them and send this money in and you're going to bless the money and they're going to multiply the money. How do I know they're lying when I haven't built my critical thinking skills up to the point where I understand that people are out to take advantage of others? A lot of people are out to take advantage of others. If I hop on an XJW group, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with doing it. What I'm saying is make sure you're in a place of stability. First, make sure you're in a place of stability. First, make sure you have a support group. A support group, if you're about to do something that is not wise, they will stop you. They'll say, yeah, it's okay that you're talking to these people online, but you don't really know them that well. If you're going to meet, make sure it's at a public place. Don't give them your address. Like, don't send them all your money. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a support group, you have somebody watching your back. And one of the problems with waking up from a cult is not developing that support group of people who have been out there and do know there's a lot of people waiting to take advantage of you. And because you don't have that, you start falling for this, that, the third. You start falling for everything. And there's no such thing as a community where there's no one there to take advantage of a situation. There's no such thing. If there is, comment down below. Let me know what that community is so I can join it and drop my guard and not be worried about somebody lying to me and taking advantage. But generally, people are in a place of stability where that's not going to do a lot of damage. Right? They're typically in a place of stability where they're not going to run off with somebody that says they're an African prince because somebody in their family is going to stop them. Right? But when we leave Watchtower, we don't have that family. We're just out there. I'm telling you, I've heard stuff. A person could end out in the sex trade because they just trust people. It's a female and they just trust people and they just freaking end up in people's houses. anything, really bad things can happen to people. A guy could end up getting set up and robbed because he just trusts people. And anybody coming to his door, he's going to leave the door wide open. I mean, this is serious. It goes beyond just... this is something that could happen to anybody. This is something that could specifically and is highly likely to happen to an XJW, because we all announced to the world that we're XJWs. And most people, including other members of the XJW community, know. You could be dealing with a very suggestible person, a person who's very open to manipulation, a person who hasn't really developed that way yet, to where they're very mature in certain aspects of life, because Jehovah's Witnesses are sheltered and they're not encouraged to go take, for the most part, not encouraged to get higher education. There are so many pitfalls in life, and a grown adult or even a teen that don't have the same life experience that your average person their age has is in so much danger, because you don't know who will and who will not take advantage of you, because being taken advantage of is your norm. That's how you grew up. Excuse me. So somebody taking advantage of you is going to seem really normal to you. So if you're raised in the religion, you're born and raised being taken advantage of, it's going to seem very normal to you. So this is why the very next step upon leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, getting away from them, or even just waking up from them, is to establish your stability, establish your network, your social network, establish a group of people you have to fall back on. And it's better to first build this amongst family, first build this amongst friends, people you've known, and then reach out to the XJW community and start building this amongst people you don't know, you have never met. It's okay to make friends. I've made friends. I've got people I call to this day that I've made all these friends from people who are in the community. But you don't want that to be your only recourse of friendship. You got serious things going on in life. Well, who do you go to? Somebody online I ain't never met before. No. Hopefully a relative that's not a Jehovah's Witness. Start building your relationship with them. It's hard because you hadn't been doing it for so long. I understand. But start building your relationship with them. It's so much better to fall back on them. It's so much better to fall back on a friend that you had that you stopped talking to because they weren't Jehovah's Witness. It's better to build that back with them. And it's easier to do than to build with somebody you do not know at all. XJW community has got some great people. Amazing people, awesome people. If you decide to go to a church, that church is going to have some great people, amazing people, awesome people. But anywhere you go, you're going to have people who are willing to take advantage of others given the opportunity. You're going to have people who are willing to ask for your money and try to take advantage of you sexually if they're given the opportunity to do it. So there is no, I woke up from the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not stable. I haven't built my critical thinking skills. I'm wide open to suggestion. Let me just jump into the XJW community and then I'm safe. It's safe there. No, isn't it? First, get yourself stable. Stable place to live. Stable job. Relationships. Get that. You want to be married? Do you not want to be married? Do you want a girlfriend? Do you not want a girlfriend? Do you want a boyfriend? Do you not want? Get your, those really, really important things in life together. And once you're in a place of stability and you're thinking clearly, and then also too, therapy, once you've got all those things, then you're less likely to fall for something. That's why you want to get yourself stable first. That's the first focus. And then, hey, you might want to start your own XJW channel. You might want to start a group on Facebook, or you might want to hop on Twitter. Or you might want to just, focus a lot of your time and attention on XJW meetups and all that. All that stuff is fine. It's perfectly good and fine as long as you're able to think on a level, as long as you're stable here, as long as you're able to think on a level where you can protect yourself, right? I remember there were meetups where people were bringing their kids, their teenage girl kids, and sleeping in rooms with people they didn't know and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, come on now. That's just not something that people do. So that's how I knew in that specific situation, yes, we're dealing with people who are somewhat suggestive and are somewhat trusting, and that's dangerous. Once you understand people and social interactions, and understand not leaving yourself vulnerable. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable so that anything can even possibly happen. Once you understand all of that, then yes, go to all the meetups. Go get online, and if you find a YouTuber you like, give them your money if you want to, because then I know you're not going to give them all your money. Then I know you're not giving them money you need for bills. Then I know you're not going to go to a meetup and just go in somebody's house. You know what I mean? That you don't know, which I've done. Stop. Don't think I'm telling you stuff I haven't done. I'm experienced. I've done this stuff. That's why I can speak on it. I've been in somebody's house, and the person remained nameless, and this person is cool, and I'm super cool with this person to this day. But the person told me they had somebody on standby ready to stab me because they didn't know me from Adam. Right? And I'm putting myself in these situations where I'm going to all these people's houses. I'm going all over the place. And yeah, I could have got poked up. You know what I mean? Messing around, doing stuff like that. So I'm coming from a position of, yes, I know I left it and I fell for everything in the kitchen sink. That's why I know first things first. Get with family. Get with people who aren't going to take advantage of you. That should be your circle. Now, while you got this circle of people who aren't taking advantage of you, aren't going to take advantage of you, then go ahead and start building your stability, your place to live, your job, your all that stuff. And then once you're in a place mentally where you're used to being out of a cult, or at least you're in a place of stability where you can think critically, then go out and start, doing all those things in the XJW community. Or at least if you're doing all those things, do those things part-time. I would not, if I'm not in a place where I should be, I'm completely open and vulnerable, I would not join any community and just focus all my attention there. Because I'm important. You're important. Focus some attention on you and your stability. So yeah, once those things are in place, then you can do anything you want. Why? Because you got people to fall back on. You've built your social network full of people that you can trust. You got a job now. You got a place to live. Now you can join this community. You can join that community. You can go to this church. You can go to that church. Now you can go explore the world and try to find the true religion if you want to. You can go find and search for the Holy Grail if you want to, the fountain of youth. You're in a place of stability. Now you can do what you want. And it's not detrimental. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. This is probably something that we'll need to discuss. 937-789-4029. I'm not saying don't join the community. I'm saying focus on your stability. Do other things, but focus on your stability before you're just putting yourself out there, right? Because then you get taken advantage of. It could be XJW, it could be a non-XJW, it could be somebody that says they're an XJW, they ain't never been to a Kingdom Hall. 937-789-4029, X-Wall Kill Bethelite, signing out.